Hey everyone, welcome to another installment of Harry Potter Theory. In this video, we're going to be discussing the 6 most powerful members of the Order of the Phoenix. Now, we know the Order of the Phoenix as an organization comprised of powerful witches and wizards, an organization with one objective in mind: oppose Lord Voldemort and the Death Eaters. The organization was first founded by Dumbledore during the First Wizarding War in the year 1970, created in response to Voldemort returning to England and beginning his persecution of Muggle-borns. The Order worked directly with the Ministry of Magic for 11 years in an effort to defeat Voldemort and his forces, spanning from 1970 to 1981. However, it of course wasn't until 1981 that Voldemort was eventually defeated at the hands of the Potters. The original Order then disbanded after the war ended, as there was no longer any imminent threat. However, when Voldemort returned in 1995, a second wave of the Order reconvened, picking up where they left off. Many powerful witches and wizards were members of the Order over the years, and though there were certainly some casualties during the First Wizarding War, the Order was able to obtain some new members when it was refounded. The collection of witches and wizards that helped to oppose Voldemort was truly a spectacle, a diverse array of witches and wizards with their own unique specialties and talents. In this video, I'm going to be discussing my top 6 Order of the Phoenix members. This list will include Order members from both the First and Second Wizarding Wars. Without further ado, let's get started. Number 6. Kingsley Shacklebolt. Kingsley Shacklebolt was a British pureblood wizard, Order of the Phoenix member, powerful aura, and later Minister for Magic. Kingsley was a later addition to the Order and joined during the Second Wizarding War. Shacklebolt attended Hogwarts and performed particularly well on his newts, fulfilling all of the necessary qualifications to become an Aura. Before eventually becoming Minister for Magic, Kingsley was a high-ranking Aura and displayed a very powerful and balanced arsenal of magical capabilities. Shacklebolt's fellow Order members held him in a very high regard, and even Lord Voldemort himself considered Kingsley to be a powerful wizard. If that isn't an indicator of his level of power, then I don't know what is. Shacklebolt exhibited natural cunning, outstanding dueling ability, full defense against the dark arts proficiency, charms mastery, transfiguration mastery, potions mastery, herbology mastery, apparitions mastery, and more. He was truly a master of all, and was able to comfortably hold his own against at least 2 Death Eaters at once. In fact, during the Battle of the Seven Potters, Shacklebolt was chased by 5 Death Eaters, and even though he was primarily focused on protecting Hermione, Shacklebolt was able to stun 2 of them and escape. Shacklebolt was a truly indispensable addition to the Order. Number 5. Alastor Moody. Considered by many to be the most famous Aura of all time, Alastor Moody was a very impressive wizard. Moody joined the Order during the First Wizarding War, and is said to be personally responsible for a very large portion of the witches and wizards in Azkaban. This earned him quite the reputation amongst the Dark Wizard community. Mad-Eye was a Scottish pureblood wizard born into the Moody family, a family known for producing a plethora of amazingly talented auras. In his youth, he attended Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, and later on in his life and career, true to his family name, went on to follow in the footsteps of his family and become an Aura. Moody was a truly impressive dark wizard catcher and warrior. He would do whatever it took to win, and Moody served with great distinction during the First Wizarding War, even losing an eye, leg, and nose in battles against the Death Eaters. Moody was incredibly brave, but also extremely powerful, particularly in his prime. However, many do feel as though his abilities may have peaked during the First Wizarding War, and that he had dropped down a peg by the time the Second Wizarding War came around, the result of years of hard battling. Similar to Shacklebolt, Moody was regarded as one of the most powerful members of the Order of the Phoenix by Lord Voldemort himself. For this reason, Voldemort suspected that Moody was likely the wizard protecting Harry during the Battle of the Seven Potters, and was initially targeted by Voldemort for this reason. He was a master of dark arts, defense against the dark arts, dueling, charms, transfiguration, potions, herbology, apparition, non-verbal magic, and even occlumency. For all of the reasons listed above, I feel that he is deserving of the number 5 spot on this list. Number 4. Minerva McGonagall. Minerva McGonagall didn't join the Order until the Second Wizarding War, as she instead chose to work as a spy for the Ministry of Magic for the duration of the First War. McGonagall is a Scottish half-blood witch that attended Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, and later worked there. While she attended Hogwarts, she was the most talented student of her entire year, and she achieved top grades in her newts and owls. She exhibited extreme magical prowess from a very young age, and later became one of Hogwarts' best professors, and eventually headmistress. McGonagall's most notable skill is perhaps related to her knowledge and talent in transfiguration. She is known for her effortless ability to transform her physical form at will. She was also a skilled potion maker, able to successfully brew an animagus potion, and duelist, notably dueling Lord Voldemort to a standstill alongside Slughorn and Kingsley. But what makes McGonagall particularly powerful is her paired knowledge of the dark arts. Not only did she master charms, transfiguration, dueling, and potion making, she also had a vast knowledge of the dark arts. Though she didn't use dark spells frequently, she could use them when necessary, and notably used the Imperious Curse on Amicus Caro. Number 3. Abeforth Dumbledore. Abeforth Dumbledore was a British half-blood wizard, the son of Kendra and Percival Dumbledore, older brother to Ariana Dumbledore, and perhaps most notably, the younger brother of Albus Dumbledore. Abeforth was known to have a poor relationship with his brother, Albus, the result of a three-way duel involving Abeforth, Albus, and Gellert Grindelwald. The duel resulted in the death of their sister, Ariana, and it effectively put an end to their relationship. Abeforth later became the barman at the Hogshead Inn in Hogsmeade Village, and though he had a poor relationship with his brother, joined the Order of the Phoenix during the First Wizarding War in an effort to bring peace back to the wizarding world. They had a bad relationship, but Abeforth wasn't going to let that get in the way of stopping Voldemort. Though Abeforth wasn't quite as powerful as Albus, he was still a Dumbledore, and provided that he was able to hold his own in a three-way duel involving Grindelwald, then I'm sure that he was an extremely powerful wizard. Abeforth preferred to settle his disputes with duels, and this is one of the reasons that he became such a skilled duelist. Abeforth was also a charms master and skilled legilimens. Number 2. Severus Snape. Now, we know Severus Snape as Lily's suitor, the potions professor, the defense against the dark arts professor, and later headmaster of Hogwarts. Despite Snape ultimately showing that he was one of the good guys, he did have a history with the Death Eaters and was crooked for a time. Snape, after all, was the one responsible for telling Voldemort about the prophecy that Professor Trelawney had predicted. Snape is widely considered to be one of the most gifted wizards in the entire Harry Potter series. His skills are only really outmatched by Voldemort and Dumbledore, who are in a bit of a class of their own, but Snape is extremely powerful nonetheless. During his time at Hogwarts, Snape assumed the identity the Half-Blood Prince, and scribbled all sorts of spell creations into his copy of Advanced Potion Making. Among these spells was the powerful and vicious Sectum Sempra. Snape can also fly, and is one of only 2 known wizards who are capable of doing this, the other being Voldemort. When Snape duels McGonagall in the film, who is extremely powerful in her own right, he's able to match her, despite holding back immensely. There's no telling what Snape would have been able to accomplish if he had lived a more linear life. Snape died at the tender age of 38, and though he wasn't quite at the level of Voldemort or Dumbledore, he was getting there, and had he been around for a few decades longer, I think that Snape may have just had a shot at being the most powerful wizard ever. Number 1. Albus Dumbledore. Now, I'm sure you saw this coming. Dumbledore is undoubtedly the most powerful wizard to have ever lived, comparable only to maybe Voldemort or possibly Grindelwald. While at school, Dumbledore's magical abilities consistently turned heads, particularly his skills surrounding charms and transfiguration. He also did exceptionally well on his newts, and Griselda Marchbanks, a professor working for the Wizarding Examinations Authority, remarked that Albus was able to do things with a wand that she had never seen before. Dumbledore had no weaknesses. He was a charms and transfiguration master, a skilled occlumens, and versed practitioner of elemental magic. Had Dumbledore gone down the same path as Voldemort, pursuing an even deeper level of dark magic, there's no telling how powerful he could have truly been. Dumbledore pushed the limits of magic while staying away from an entire side of the magical spectrum, and was able to still overpower Voldemort, who did whatever it took to achieve power. And that's it for my top 6. Honorable mentions include Sirius Black, Remus Lupin, Tonks, the Longbottoms, the Potters, the Pruitts, and many more. There were many powerful and talented Order members, and this list was difficult to make, but I feel pretty good about it. What do you guys think? Who would you replace? Who would you put in your top 6? Let me know down in the comment section below. Until next time, you're a wizard, Harry.